Greetings, Internet. I am Richard Neal, and I am here to answer a very interesting question. And this is a question posed by one Boogie2988, who you may note has a certain resemblance to me if you're familiar with him. And, you know, I think it was one of his more recent videos where he commented on how his account had been hacked. Before his account had been hacked, he had to file a police report because someone threatened him or his wife. And, you know, he asks, why does this happen to me? It doesn't seem to happen as much to other YouTubers. And we know this because Boogie actually asked other YouTubers why he seems to get harassed. Do they get as often harassed as he does? So as I have a degree in psychology, one would expect me to be able to answer a question like that, because that is a question of human behavior. Why does it seem like people are singling out Boogie2988? And while there are a number of reasons, probably the most prevalent is a thing we've never been able to understand in psychology or explain, but something that we know basically happens is the abusers find the abused. See, Boogie, I will send this to Boogie, hopefully he'll watch it, but you see, Boogie, you have what's referred to as a psychopathology, which means you have suffered trauma in your past that has been psychologically significant, and for some unexplainable reason, people who have also not only had this trauma but have a tendency to inflict this trauma are singling you out because they pick up on the fact that you've had this trauma. No one knows why this is. No one really does. I mean, I've never even seen a legitimate theory. My personal thought is that if you've suffered abuse, you have certain facial expressions that are common, and this causes contortions of the face. So when the muscles of your face build up to make these expressions, people see and subconsciously respond to that. And I can tell you, this is something I've gone through in my life. I mean, look, I suffered terrible child abuse. I only had a parent, not just a father or mother. I only had a parent on weekends as a 10-year-old. As a 10-year-old boy, I had two older siblings, got the crap kicked out of me by them all week, and then, you know, on the weekend my father would show up and I'd have to make out the grocery list and go to the store with him. I don't know why that was my responsibility. But I mean, every time I go to see a psychiatrist or a therapist, they look at me and they say, you know, it's a miracle you're functional at all. You really should be locked up. You're so crazy. But we're going to set that aside. So there's my thing. For the first part, Boogie, what's happening is that people are picking up on the fact that you've suffered in the past. They're viewing you as a target. I don't know if there's anything you can do about it, other than, of course, go through a therapy to address the issues of your past, which is, of course, very important for someone with your level of stress. Now, there is another point. For those of you who are not familiar with this gentleman, he, of course, has a stress-related weight problem. It is a stress-related weight problem. The body is being changed by the mind. And as a result, I mean, I can only speculate, Boogie, that you don't sleep well. And as a result of you not sleeping well, your body does not repair itself very well. And from this, what we have is you can't really exert yourself. Because, you know, you go walking, do 5 miles of walking, you'd be sore the next day, and you'd be sick for 3 weeks, because your body just, it will not repair itself. And this is one of the reasons infections will be very common, arthritis, inflammation of the joints, all things that tend to happen when you have extreme stress-related illnesses. So, you know, how does that mean people harass Boogie? Well, the truth is, people are dicks. And as dicks, they live in their own private little world, got these blinders on, where they say, well, I don't need this, therefore you don't need this. Now, that's really dangerous, and I'll tell you, the first time I ran into this, I must have been 13. I was talking to a history teacher, and I was saying I was having such trouble with spell check because I needed the program to tell me what the words meant, because I didn't always recognize the right word. And he goes, "You don't need that." And my response would be, "Excuse me? Who the hell are you to tell me what I need? You're not me." The reason I needed that was I have nerve damage. My eyes work perfectly, but my brain doesn't interpret letters the way normal human beings do. So I actually have a program now that reads everything I write back to me so I can hear it, because my eyes don't work when I see it. I have to hear what I've written, and then I find it. And that's something I need because of nerve damage. I got hit in the head as a kid, screwed up my brain. So then you've got Boogie. He has, of course, a scooter because, for one, his body doesn't repair itself, so he can't go through strenuous exercises. And, well, pretty much the body not repairing itself is all you need there. I mean, it wouldn't make much of a difference if you weighed 100 pounds or 500 pounds. If your body doesn't repair itself because you can't sleep properly, any amount of physical exercise is just going to be torturesome and dangerous. So there's that there. Those are the two factors based on my assessment of Boogie2988. And it's really simple. There are abusive people picking up on the fact that you have been abused, and there are jerks out there that don't understand that they are not an example of the entire human race. I would hope, Boogie, that this might give you some closure. I mean, I know there's not really much. I mean, I'm not a therapist. I'm just a guy with a bachelor's degree, and it would be great if I could sit down with you and we could talk about it, and I could discuss the therapies I know about, but then I wouldn't know who to send you to go get those. But, I mean, really, anyone with post-traumatic stress disorder, they don't just need pills, which is what a doctor will give you. What they need is called cognitive therapy, and it's generally expensive and hard to come by. So come to think of it, Boogie, you might want to say, hey, let's have a therapy fund. That might help if you can't afford it. I don't know. I mean, another thing, of course, would be just recognize something. Recognize something within yourself. I mean, this is the thing, Boogie. It's going to sound strange. I once watched an episode of one of the Avengers cartoon shows, and in this episode, every one of the Avengers got Hulkified. So they were turning into a giant green rage monster. And at the end of the episode, they say, how did you learn to control your rage? How did you... And he goes, I didn't. I deal with that every day. And they realize, and they say, the Hulk is the strongest Avenger. Not physically, mentally. Because he has suffered so much, and yet can still go on. So, Boogie, there are two ways you can look at your life. You can look at your life and how poorly you've been compared to other people, which is simply a sad and untrue way of looking at it. Or you can look at your life in terms of just how much you've suffered and yet how well you've done with that. Most other people, if they had gone through that, would probably have been broken. You're not broken. Cracked maybe, but not broken. Not unrepairable. It is the fact that I know you have that strength within you to overcome what's happened to you that is so important. I mean, I look at you as a human being and I see, you just won't give up. And yeah, it takes a lifetime to repair this kind of damage. It takes a lifetime to fix what's wrong with the human mind, but trust me, it's worth it. I've been trying to fix what's wrong with my mind for 20 years now. I've gone through my ups and downs, and yeah, I still have anxiety problems myself. But I never give up. And I hope you never do too. So, for those of you that see this, maybe stop by Boogie's channel and give him a few kind words, and encourage, never discourage. And remember that we're all human beings, all with our own peculiarities, and all with our own weaknesses and strengths. And we all deserve a level of respect. I'm Richard Neal.